this is Dave White sitting in for Tom O'Brien. He was off on vacation all week. He will be back Monday, and we'll talk more about that in a minute. As we go through the wrap-up of the markets, the S&P was up 20 points today, 1978.22 for the close. Volume picked up kind of toward the end of the day, but still lighter than the huge down move yesterday. When we look at the NASDAQ, it was up 68 points, closed out at 4432, and the Dow Jones closed at an even number, 17,100, up 123 points to close out the day. Of course, today is options expiration day. You see a little bit more volatility, and I have a feeling that there were a lot of option market makers looking to push this market back up and try to get the close that they expected on Wednesday that they thought they would have. So maybe I'm looking for maybe a little weakness come Monday when the hangover for the push today probably pulls back. Not a whole lot, but probably a little bit. And, of course, shugging off any kind of concerns that no matter what happens, the market is only going to go up. We can allow one day down, but that's about it for the market. But next week, we get into a full rout of earnings. And as we talk about those, not much really to speak of on Monday, so I think we're probably going to have a little pullback on Monday. Then Tuesday, we get into Apple, Microsoft, United Technologies, VMware, and Xilinx. But, of course, Apple and Microsoft probably going to be the ones that truly move the market. When we get into Wednesday, we're looking at Delta Airlines, EMC, FFIV, Flowserve, FCX, Qualcomm, Tractor Supply. Then Thursday, we look at 3M, Altera, Baidu, Caterpillar, Deckers, Dunkin' Donuts, Ford, and General Motors. Those are almost always in the morning. Home Away, we'll get a little reading from that one on how well rental properties are doing. Clack, another one that goes with Click, K-L-I-C. Pandora, Starbucks, and Visa. And just maybe about two that have any kind of meaning on next Friday: Slab, Silicon Laboratories, and Tyco, the big conglomerate. So we're going to be going into yet another busy week next week. A lot of these stocks, like Microsoft, probably priced for perfection. And so maybe you have a little upside. My guess is you have a little bit of downside. There's a lot of gaps to be filled under those, not too much farther underneath it. But I think there's a lot of push out there. We're going to be talking about some of the things pushing some of those different stocks. Right now, where did Apple close at? Apple closed at $94.37, up $1.28. And let's see, do I have Microsoft on my list here? I do not. I'll put that in right now, MSFT. But earlier today, we were looking at Intel. Microsoft's up 18 cents, $44.71. A lot of good news baked into these. So I would say if they surprise, you're probably looking at a very tiny amount higher, and certainly looking at a lot lower if they disappoint. But my guess is they're probably going to come in fairly much in line, but it's going to be one of the sell the news things because just about all the good news has been in these. Google had been rather quiet, and their earnings came not as a surprise, but as a welcome addition to pretty much what we knew about Google already. Now, when we look at the broad markets, of course, it was expiration today. We saw a bevy of upgrades in the morning. It looked to me, like I said, a little bit of self-serving out here, probably to get the stocks back up to a level where the option market makers weren't going to get as hurt as bad as they were yesterday. So we'll probably see a little back and fill, I think, on Monday. Then we're going to get into those earnings on Tuesday and really start firing it up. Again, I said we're going to have a slight change here at the TFNN.com home. And since it's going to start on Monday, I want to bring it up right now. The Tom O'Brien Show, normally between 4 and 6 Eastern Time, is moving to 3 to 5 every day. That's going to give Tom 1 hour of active markets to discuss before he does the wrap-up in the 4 o'clock hour. We also have a brand new show starting at 8 a.m. Normally, our broadcast day started at 9 with Steve Rhodes. We're going to be looking at that 8 a.m. holding the Global Market Pulse with John Logan. And, of course, we've got one other move since Tom's moving an hour earlier. Andy Heck is going to the 5 to 6 p.m. every Tuesday and Thursday slot for your commodities fix. And he'll probably like it, too, because he's out there in Las Vegas and gets to hang out just a little bit more into the average day himself. So we've got some other changes coming also, but that's kind of the highlights. So just remember that you're going to get a little bit earlier taste of Tom O'Brien at 3 p.m. Eastern Time starting next week live. As we get into the rest, or normally on Fridays, I come in and do the Tech Insider Hour with Tom O'Brien. So it's going to be me flying solo with you today, and I appreciate you all listening. On our first story for today, if you haven't caught this, Kindle and Amazon are going to be offering a new service. We've seen this in music where, basically pay $10 or Netflix. You pay $10 and get to watch all you can stand. Kindle is doing a $9.99 per month deal where you'll be able to access up to 600,000 Kindle ebooks and thousands of audiobooks. Haven't actually seen that. I'm more of an audiobook listener. I like to listen to them as I go to bed. Access includes bestsellers like the Lords of the Rings trilogy and Harry Potter series. But it comes with an Audible membership. It's unclear about how many of these are going to be on Audible books. But to me, that would be the big selling point because I like those books on audio, listening to them as I go to sleep each night. But I think that's after having Netflix for a while, maybe $10 a month for all you could read. Probably a pretty good deal, I would think. In the meantime, if you have a broad brush question to ask in the technology sector, you can always give me a call at 877-927-6648. And or if you're in the den, you can always post a message to me there. But I don't know, more Amazon. Probably the biggest thing I would worry about Amazon in most of the things they're doing is the potential for an antitrust case. They certainly look like they're consolidating a great deal of the ebook business. And, of course, if you haven't been paying attention to it, a big fight and dust up with companies in the book publishing business also with a company called Hachette. And basically what they did over the last week is tell people, or tell publishers, not publishers, writers, that they would give them 100% of whatever they sold, why they were having the issues with their publishers. But I think that really continues to kind of suck Amazon in to maybe that inner ring where they may start running afoul of the antitrust folks. So I'd always, for the risks out here for Amazon, I think they're getting dangerously close to becoming that monopoly power that maybe Microsoft had in 1999 that caused the, of course, ruling that really put Microsoft on the sidelines for about 10 years. We had a lot of earnings this week, and we're going to talk about a few of them. Yahoo did come out, and it went down. It's one of those companies, if you've caught my daily show, I've talked about at length, mostly because they've been buying a lot of different companies. They went down, but there's a little bit more to it out there. Probably the big headline out here is that their search market is now under 10%. Bing's starting to take that away, becoming a smaller company, not a bigger company. But there's some other stuff going on. We'll be back in just a minute.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN, and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Daryl Martin coined the phrase diagnostic trading, and we're happy to announce that his diagnostic box spread analyzer has finally been released. The Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer helps you easily identify the best box spreads on Nadex in seconds, plus you receive access to the diagnostic deviation levels, as well as step-by-step training videos teaching you how to trade Nadex spreads so you can quickly master the mechanics of this simple yet powerful trading instrument. By pulling live data from the Nadex exchange, the Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer does all the math for you, calculating risk, reward potential, distance to break even for both outright spreads and spreads used to hedge the underlying market. Visit the front page of TFNN.com today to get your 2-week free trial to Daryl Martin's Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer and gain access to the valuable information it can provide when trading the Nadex box spreads.
Wouldn't it be great if you could get a red light, green light indicator that gives you signals on 25 different future contracts? Now you can with Taz Signal Box. This red light, green light market profile system dynamically updates 24 hours a day and provides you with important trend and trade signals on 9 different commodities, 9 different indices, and 8 different currencies. Right now, you can receive a free 2-week trial to Taz Signal Box. For all the details and to find out how the Signal Box works, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investments, and whether you're bullish or bearish on Chinese stocks, the ETFs from Direction Shares are there to help you magnify your perspective. Bull ETFs for a rising market and bear ETFs for a falling market. Direction Shares gives you the tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor Foresight Fund Services, LLC.
With the launch of Tiger TV, TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rose, Basil Chapman, David White, Larry Pezzamento, Andy Hecht, Victor Jones, or Daryl Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing. Tom takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And as we come back, if you're just joining us, this is Dave White sitting in for the one and only Tom O'Brien. Normally we talk technology with a broad brush out here, and we're going to do that today. If you're just getting into your cars, the S&P closed up 20 points at 1978. The NASDAQ closed up 69 at 4432, and the Dow 17,100 up 123 points. NASDAQ, the biggest winner, up 1.6%. We were talking a little bit about Yahoo when we left in the last break. They've done 41 deals, pretty much all of them small. Really haven't done a great deal for the company so far. But it's hard to see exactly where Yahoo is going. Didn't get a real good sense of just any idea that they had a chart, a path that was charted that would bring them to a much greater profit in the future, maybe some kind of direction. They were, of course, up a little bit higher after their earnings call, only to go lower when they found out that the Alibaba IPO was being scrapped for August and pushed off maybe to September or October. Looks like it's going to be a long time for them. And, of course, on a up day in the NASDAQ, they were up 12 cents at $33.33. But you have to kind of look at Yahoo as one of the ones where I'm scratching my head and saying, just what is Yahoo worth? If Yahoo at $33, what is Alibaba, that portion of it, worth? And there's a great disconnect. I went into that a little bit in more detail in the Tech Insider today, my weekly newsletter for technology. But pretty much, probably the thing that you should be watching out for Yahoo is their business, at least in search, is getting even less good. Less than 10% for the first time ever in all the years they've been in business. And that has to tell you that they're in deep, deep trouble. Google, of course, has been talking much about self-driving cars. This week, the FBI has started leaking out a lot of problems, the fly in the ointment that a lot of people hadn't thought about. And it goes through a lot of scenarios with self-driving cars. The idea that you could put a bomb in a self-driving car and tell it to go somewhere, that they think people using and getting ransom money would put the money in a self-driving car that would pull up, the door would open, you'd put the money in and it would drive on off. They're coming up with a great deal of scenarios, but probably the car bomb probably makes the most sense to me. And, something when you look at it, you're worried about being in the car and being in the back seat. But I wonder how many of those cars would be driving around without anybody else inside them. And I guess they could put a deal where it would check to see if, there was at least 100 pounds in them or something. But then it'd probably be just like those L.A. freeway drivers that buy those blow-up dolls to put in the seats so they can go into the carpool lane. So I'm sure that there's going to be a way around it. But they're actually now, the FBI is petitioning the government to start really looking at the problems that not even having a person in a car would be to security. And, of course, we're all about security in this country now. And just something I hadn't really thought of. I thought it was very interesting. They also had an idea that they would be able to be basically self-controlled so you could run over people with them. I don't know how many people enjoyed Death Race 2000. Most people don't know Death Race 2000. What a great movie from the mid-'70s and Sly Stallone's first movie. Didn't think of that, did you? Of course, we've been talking a great deal about net neutrality. The FCC has received over 1 million comments about net neutrality. I've railed against it for the last year. The problem is we could have 2 or 3 major internet service providers controlling all of the access to news and tweets and everything else. Of course, I railed about Comcast's treatment of its customers during one of my shows this week. If you haven't listened to it, there's it's one of the most popular YouTube videos and audio treats, listening to somebody trying to cancel their Comcast account. And after 10 minutes, I don't think he canceled it still. But what we continue to see is these big ISPs acting like the mob. And I've enjoyed Verizon at my home and our office here. They have probably one of the fastest internet services available across the country, short of getting Google Fiber to your house. But what we've seen, of course, is them, I don't know if you can, what the legal definition of extortion is, but it sure sounds like it's close. Extorting money out of companies like Netflix, purposely slowing them down. What we did find out this week is someone kind of probably let the cat out of the bag, and the title of my slide here, if you're in your car, is A2 Verizon. They basically have clearly admitted that Verizon has the capacity to spare and is deliberately constraining throughput from the network providers. Level 3, a major internet service provider, Backbone, interconnects Verizon networks, responded by showing a diagram that visualizes the underpowered interconnect problem and explains why Verizon's own post indicated how it restricts data flow. Now, even after this, Level 3 has gone to Verizon and said, we'll pay for the ability to fix the problems you have here. And Verizon has said no. So this can only be construed as an additional way of trying to dam up any water going downstream to extort money from companies that are larger, that want data to get to that last mile or two of your house. Especially with the net neutrality rules under review now for the FCC. Today is the last day that you can comment on it. It was going to be a few days ago, but they broke the FCC web server and had to extend it a couple of days. So if you have a chance, make sure that you put in your vote for a truly net neutral and data neutral policy. To me, this is just asking for maybe 3 companies to control all the data, all the news, and everything in the future if we don't get behind it right now. But tis Verizon, I thought you were different. Snowden, of course, is out with new revelations this week, and probably the most interesting one is he's getting to the point of actually giving his seal of approval for a cloud services company. We'll tell you which one when we come back. And again, you can always give me a call at 877-927-6648 if you want to ask a broader question about technology. But we'll talk about maybe which cloud services company you should use when we come back.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
In quiet markets, investors search for new trading opportunities. We'd like to introduce you to a new product that provides opportunities even in flat markets. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a new and innovative Chicago-based exchange registered with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their trading platform. Nadex never charges a fee to use their platform, which even includes real-time charts and full customization capability. Nadex's unique short-term binary options allow traders and investors to capitalize on strategies even when the underlying markets are quiet. Nadex's innovation has allowed them to come up with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com, or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Andy Heck's powerful weekly newsletter, the Technomental Commodity Report, has delivered multiple triple-digit winning trades in recent months. And right now's the perfect time to get a full month-long trial to Andy's newsletter with no obligation to pay anything. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Technomental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you'll lock in the low rate of only $59 a month. Sign up right now for the Technomental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Who says you can't take it with you? TFNN says you can. With your mobile device and TFNN's live radio streams, TFNN has put it all in the palm of your hands. No special apps to download. No subscription fees for live radio or Tiger TV streams. We say you can.
Now let's go over to the dollar, because the dollar is going to be the generator. It is the generator of basically higher dollar, lower market. And what the dollar has done, and this whole uptrend, folks, has just gone sideways. The way it works, folks, is this.
We say you can. The Tiger Financial News Network. Smart investors and professional traders know you can. TFNN.com. Educating investors. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we're back. This is Dave White sitting in for Tom O'Brien, although I'm normally here on a Friday talking about technology. Maybe the bigger broad brush things that most people don't pick up in the news. Of course, Snowden and the NSA are perpetually in the news these days. Snowden said users should use SpiderOak, a storage startup which takes extra security measures such as not storing users' passwords that makes it difficult for the government to access any user data, even with a court order. And he's been rather busy, but I checked into SpiderOak, and it's in the Chicago suburbs. But basically, about 1 million users. It's got about 42 employees and small. But we are starting to see a great deal of movement in even the other big companies like Microsoft, working for at least better end-to-end security that maybe the corporate hackers can't get into. Of course, the NSA probably get into anything it wants, maybe the Chinese government. But for the most part, people just want to make sure that their competitors are not getting into their news. And if you wanted to keep corporate espionage to a minimum, probably not a bad deal. Of course, if the keys only exist with you, if you lose them, of course, you're in real deep trouble. But that password means that they would have to basically crack everything, whether it's the government or not, crack everything to look at it. Can't easily scan it. Most of these new systems include software that is end-to-end. That means that if you're using some kind of software, before it leaves your computer, it is encrypted already. Therefore, once it's on the net, even someone getting in between you, it's called a man-in-the-middle attack. Someone can be in there. But there's pretty much all the effort to go and encrypt it. And unless you're going up against the KGB or China and you've got some kind of national secrets on the latest F-35 stealth fighter, probably not a big problem. Of course, earlier in the week, he came out and discussed all the British spying tools that could be used to change the opinion and harass people that they didn't like. Big kind of black eye for the NSA version of the British electronic intelligence companies. There are also some more documents out that he released this week about the NSA snagging lots of naked pictures of people. And, of course, a little side note to it, if you're not really good looking, they don't spend a lot of time on those naked pictures. But apparently at the NSA, passing them around has become a national sport. So if you're worried about it, I wouldn't put them on my phone to begin with. But we really need an overhaul of the NSA. And so far, it really didn't look like many things have significantly changed in this part of it. Of course, we are coming on to Apple's earnings this week. They are predicting 60 or 70 million iPhones to be sold by the end of 2014. Some news coming out, not uncommon for Apple, with production problems. Some of the new data has leaked out about what they are using, and the battery is going to be about 1/3 thinner. A lot of other new things. Apparently, until this thing gets to the thickness of a credit card, Apple's not going to be happy. I think my phone's thin enough. I've never really woken up in the middle of the night and saying, you know, if that phone was just a little thinner, I'd be fine. But a lot of production problems, not only with batteries, but other components, trying to get integrated chips smaller, and seeing a lot of that. So I would not be surprised to hear rumblings over the next couple of weeks. They were supposed to go into production on Monday with Foxconn, but that looks like that's going to be delayed maybe another week or two because of these production problems. And I think we're starting to see Apple start pulling back off that $96 level because of that, even before the troubles of Thursday. But we're going to hear a lot more about that next week and what their plans are. And, of course, really haven't even spoken about the iWatch. But I have a side trade off of Apple's new iPhone coming out this fall that I think is going to be very tasty in the Tech Insider. Tesla has confirmed a report from British news site Auto Express that it will be rolling out a third-generation vehicle called the Model 3. I'm not exactly sure that the Model 3 will be its name, although Tesla is saying that. It will be for sale in 2017. It's designed to go after the BMW 3 Series EV. These are fairly close or narrow-range cars that are probably going to have ranges of less than 100, 120 miles. So if you live in a very urban setting where you only drive 5, 10, 15, 20 miles, would be extensive. You spend a lot of time sitting at stoplights, not going anywhere. These are the kind of cars that would be interested. Supposed to be coming out for a design price around $35,000. Now, it's not going to be any different than the rest of these electric cars in that they're going to have a battery life around 4 or 5 years. I've gotten some email about the Nissan Leaf allowing you to buy a plan that would totally replace the batteries if they reached 70% of their rated capacity. That starts off by $100 a month. Some of these companies like Tesla are guaranteeing them through 5 years. Much past that could be very problematic for these manufacturers. A lot of these battery packs on these BMWs, you probably, and even the Tesla new 3 Series, you're probably looking at $10,000 to $12,000 of the price of the car being nothing but those batteries. And of course, they're not going to be any cheaper to replace in the near future. Of course, Tesla says that they can build a gigafactory and make lithium-ion batteries much cheaper than buying them from Panasonic, which is their main supplier now. I'm not so sure about that. Maybe they've gotten some hidden technology for making better batteries, but my guess is this is not going to be like the chip business where you see the capacity double every 2 years and, of course, the price drop in half at the same time. Electronics, a lot easier to do that than with chemistry. And, of course, these are all about chemistry. And, of course, Tesla's main CEO, his only CEO, Mr. Musk, has been out pretty much bad-mouthing for the last week the Toyota fuel cell cars, calling them fool cells. Maybe that's protest too much. But it's going to be interesting. In the Nature magazine, Wednesday, there is also a new possible cure for diabetes. It reveals a possible new way for therapeutic pathway for people who suffer from type 2 diabetes. In the last couple of months, we've seen a lot of new products from dry inhalers, so you don't have to, of course, always be injecting yourself with diabetes. This one has basically cured diabetes for up to a week in lab mice. They've got a special molecule, says the survey leader, Michael Downs, diabetic researcher at the Salk Institute. Of course, those are the guys that helped cure polio in California, and the co-author of the study, but it appears the molecule restores insulin sensitivity in diabetic mice. They basically got mice to go along for about a week. I don't know how long mice live. Maybe that's not as good as I thought. But I don't know. I'll read the study this weekend. I'm certainly that so many people are affected by it. One of the big things that could be one of the biggest drugs to come would be some kind of cure, or at least the ability to maybe take a pill and not have to inject yourself with insulin. I've known a lot of people that have had it, and of course it always leads to poor circulation and a lot of times extremities having to be amputated after time. It looks very interesting. So if you know anybody that takes this, you may refer them to this month's Nature magazine. But I'm thinking that we're probably going to see a bigger drug out of this. I read a little bit more about it, but it sounded like a fairly promising study. When we look at, of course, a lot of technology these days, it has to do with bio food, genetically modified food. When we come back, in just a very short amount of time, we're going to talk about real fake cheese.
Sadly, she went home empty-handed. Folks, replace pearls with time because we cannot go back even 2 seconds. We live in the eternal moment of now. So when now are you going to take advantage of my offer to you, a subscription to my daily investment newsletter service, Mastering Probability, where you can experience the most incredible pearls for trading and investing, the Rhodes Momentum Indicator and Strategy. The offer? It gets better. A 30-day money-back guarantee. Don't go home empty-handed. Mastering Probability. Available on the homepage of TFNN.com.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
No matter where you listen to TFNN programming, we want you to know you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones and iPads, located at the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can't use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a mobile connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all of our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and radio call and talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com. Educating investors. This segment is brought to you by BackTech Environmental. For more information, just click the BackTech banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien.
And just a short reminder, if you didn't catch the early part of the show, just wanted to let everybody know we've got a short or a different schedule starting on Monday. Tom O'Brien Show, normally between 4 and 6 p.m. Eastern Time, will be 3 to 5 starting next week. That'll give him an hour to call the market while it's still moving. And we're going to have also a little earlier start to our programming day with the Global Market Pulse with John Logan. He'll start at 8 o'clock Monday morning. So we're going to have even a little bit more for you each day. And Andy Heck, normally in that 3 o'clock hour, is moving to the 5 o'clock hour. So he'll be back from vacation. Tom will be back for vacation. We'll all be back in fighting trim, rested and ready to go. We were talking about real fake cheese when we left. A lot of discussions around TFNN about genetically modified foods. Not much about actually genetically modifying other things and then using them to create foods. This is exactly what we're talking about. They're genetically modifying baker's yeast to produce the world's first cheese that did not originate from milk in the udder of a cow. And I'm thinking we're now going from that first part that normally is the people yelling and screaming about genetically modified corn to now looking at additional products. This follows many of these new developments. We've talked about last year companies trying to make meat without actually growing a cow. And just a little bit more of it. But if you're interested in this, there are two different companies trying to come together. Counterculture Labs in Oakland, California, and BioCurious, I gotta wonder how I say that, Sunnyvale, California, using the baker's yeast. But I think we're going to see more and more of this, and it's going to get more and more of a mashup. We don't know what is real and what is not, but apparently a lot of people have been fed that horrible cheese from their hippy-dippy girlfriend, and tasted pretty horrible, made from nuts and other things. But this is actually supposed to taste fairly close to the real thing. Also may bring the cost of foods, especially in developing worlds, to a lower price point. Also, when we look to Silicon Valley, the home of the vulture capital system, actual venture capitals, there is some new articles out that are very interesting, especially in the payments-backed companies. This has been the kind of the social network of the last year, really starting to roll off. And it may tell us a little bit about truly payment processing. Maybe Visa and MasterCard will not see a challenge for companies like Square. They've done a fairly good push, but it seems to have stalled out in the last 6 months. Not that many startups this year in this whole venture-backed payments plan. Normally these things, especially when they're as hot as something like Square, you just see more and more people. But the numbers actually falling fairly considerably of new companies trying to push the whole venture-backed payments scheme. Wanted to get to a few things out here. A lot of companies are fairly strong these days and looking good. Intel, Microsoft, Google. But a great deal of these companies that have risen to very high levels over the last few months have been previously commodity companies that have gone sideways for a great deal of time. In the case of memory companies like MU and SNDK, SanDisk, these companies had some fairly decent basically wins at their back. In the case of these memory companies, a lot of it was a company went out of business and another competitor actually burnt to the ground, causing a lot of profit for these companies over the years. We're probably going to be looking at these companies seeing a bit of pressure. SanDisk, of course, came out with earnings this week, and when we saw it, basically the margins on their products down 26%. You have to always worry about commodity companies once again becoming a commodity. If it's zinc or copper, these things trade like commodities. When they are scarce, they really go up. When they're not so scarce, of course, they can come down in a rapid hurry. If you look at SanDisk, of course, this thing went up to almost $109. Saw a low back yesterday at 91.83 on some monster volume, 93. But, as we see some of these other companies that have been traditionally commodity companies, they seem to be some of the more low-hanging fruit. I'm going to be very interested in looking at Micron's in their next numbers. In fact, their earnings date when they come out is October 8th, so they're going to be a while. Maybe they didn't catch the end of that, so they've got a little bit more time. But certainly you saw them pull back at the same time. The thought is if margins are coming down for SanDisk, they will be coming down for Micron also. So let's keep a look at that one. Of course, Google back up to its highs over the last few trading days since their kind of bizarre split. But back up to those levels up today on strong volume. But to me, a lot of these stocks like Intel, like Microsoft, have some nice gaps out here that we could be seeing filled and a little bit of pullback. That's what I'm looking for. When we look at Intel's nice little pop, no follow through the last 2 days, and a fairly nice little gap to come back out and be filled. Of course, Intel, 68% margins, about the strongest. In fact, better than Apple's margin, who's got some fairly decent margins on the iPhone. Maybe they'll get back up there with the iPhone 6. But present time, Intel is back on top, 68% margins for hardware, actually chips. But it's very tough to make something that isn't software and get those kind of margins. Intel, very big. What you want to be watching for, especially across the next few days and through the earnings next week into a lot of the technology, is if it fills that gap. If you enjoyed me, you might want to check out my newsletters. Go to the front page of TFNN.com under newsletters. Look at both of my daily trading newsletter and my weekly Tech Insider. We'll see you Monday. Same bat channel, same bat time.